What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? Appreciate y'all for being in here. Appreciate y'all for being in here. Uh, we're gonna get right into it. But again, appreciate y'all. Subscribe to my channel so you be updated on all my latest content. I thought I'd do this tonight. Brandy, they got a tier list for Brandy, and I thought I'd do this. Brandy discography ranking tier list. I saw it up here, so I said, let me get right into this, and yeah, we're gonna rank them. And so appreciate y'all for being in here. If you're in here, let me know you're in here so I can shout you out. And we're gonna get right into it. Yeah, I like these tier lists. I've been seeing people do this on YouTube, and I thought, let me try this out, doing these tier lists live. And I thought I'd get your input too as I rank these albums. See what y'all think as far as this Brandy discography tier list. And yeah, I think this is gonna be fun. Like y'all know, I'm a huge Brandy fan. From her first album into B7, and actually the Christmas album as well. And so again, appreciate y'all for tuning in. If you're watching this live back, you can leave a comment as well on what your decision as far as Brandy's discography. And so like I said, let me know you're in here. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoy this tier list ranking. And like I said, I've been seeing a lot of people do these, and I think it looked fun. So I said, let me try it on my channel and see people's input, how they feel about my rankings as far as these albums, and as far as music in general, how about how I feel, my views as far as this music. And so yeah, like I said, Brandy's, this is gonna be a tough one because I'm a huge Brandy fan. The categories is magnum opus, classics, underrated, throwaway albums, and trash. And I'm gonna say now, I don't think none of Brandy's albums is going to be trash because to me, all her albums has been very good. So y'all can help me out with this ranking. Again, appreciate y'all for tuning in. And so I think I'm gonna start chronological, the way these albums. I'm not gonna do this best of Brandy, and I'm not gonna do Waiting to Exhale because they wasn't her solo albums, and so I'm not gonna count those in here. Whoever made this, they added Waiting to Exhale and Best of Brandy album. And so yeah, I'm not gonna put that in there, but I'm gonna start chronological, from her earliest album to her latest album, the Brandy self-titled album to B7. And so I'm gonna start with the Brandy album. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really listen to this album as much as other Brandy albums, but this was her debut. She did have a lot of great songs on this album, and so yeah, she had a lot of production by the Crouch brothers, Keith Crouch, Something for the People, Rayson Patterson. A lot of great production on this album, the Brandy's debut album. And so I'm gonna say Brandy first album, I'm gonna put it in classics. I think it's a classic. To me, it's not my magnum opus, but I think Brandy first album is classic. Brandy's first album is a classic. And so, yeah, I'm gonna put Brandy's album as classic. If you're tuning in, let me know what you think about my tier list of artists. And so, yeah, again, appreciate y'all for tuning in. And so, her second album, Never Say Never, I think this is the album where she really defined herself as a superstar, an artist that a lot of, this generation at this time was looking up to. She did Cinderella, she did The Boy Is Mine, that was like her first Grammy. And so, yeah, Never Say Never is a classic album. I can't see this anywhere below classic. This is when she first worked with Rodney Jerkins, Doc Child on this album. Such a classic album. And yeah, like I said, let me know what y'all think. But I'm gonna have to say Never Say Never is magnum opus. I think it's a classic album. Classic album. And again, appreciate y'all for coming in here. Let me know you're in here so I can shout you out. Appreciate you for being in here. But yeah, I'm putting Never Say Never as magnum opus. I think it's her top album to me. And y'all gonna be surprised when I put another album, but stay tuned. So her next album, Full Moon. Full Moon is like the most celebrated Brandy album as far as musicians, as far as vocalists, as far as people that's really study music. She was back again with Rodney on this album. She was with Rodney. I think because it wasn't a lot of singles from this album. She was pregnant during this time with Sarai. And we didn't get a lot of publicity from this album too. That's a factor as well. Like I said, one of her most celebrated album, especially from musician standpoint. I'm gonna have to give this album a classic. I know y'all surprised why Full Moon is not magnum opus. But yeah, I'm gonna have to give it a classics rating. So the next one is Aphrodisiac. Aphrodisiac is when she started really working with Timbaland. Who She to You, song with Kanye West. I think it was Talk About Our Love. Come As You Are was on that album. And I think it's underrated. I think I'm gonna put that as underrated. I'm gonna put Aphrodisiac as underrated. Again, appreciate y'all for coming in here. But I'll put Aphrodisiac as underrated. So the next album, Human. I wasn't really thrilled about this album, honestly. A lot of slow songs, a lot of songs that was really out of her element during this time. I like Brandy and her more urban element. I'm kind of back and forth about Human. The Human album. I think it was a decent album, but I think it wasn't her best album. If it was something underrated, between underrated and throwaway album, I would put it there. I don't know, this is tough. Y'all let me know what y'all think Human should be. I might have to get back to that one. Human, that's kind of difficult. That's kind of difficult for me, especially being a Brandy fan. I don't want to say throwaway album, because it had some pretty good songs on the album. But if it was something in between underrated and throwaway album, I would put it there, because Human is a pretty good album from Brandy. It's not her best album, but it wasn't bad. This is kind of like her comeback album. But shout out to Eric, appreciate you for being in here. But let me know, Eric, where should I put the Human album? Let me know. Should I put it underrated or classic? I don't know. I'm kind of stuck with this one. But if you're in here, let me know where you would put Human. I might have to skip that one for right now, because I'm pretty sure where I want to put the other two. I'm pretty sure where I want to put the other two albums. I'm gonna have to get back with that one. And honestly, I'm kind of stuck with Human and B7. I think they were okay albums, but I feel like they weren't her best projects as far as her entire discography. And so yeah, let me know about that one. But Waiting to Exhale, I don't want to put that up there because that won't her solo album. So I really don't want to put that anywhere. But yeah, so far I got Never Say Never, Magnum Opus. I got Brandy's debut album, Classics, and Full Moon Classic. Because I think Never Say Never is a little bit better than Full Moon as far as a legendary album from Brandy, like as far as classic, as far as what the general audience remembers about Brandy. I think, even though I love Full Moon, I learned a lot from Full Moon. Never Say Never is that, it's that album where she really found herself, to me, as far as her artistry. The Brandy first album, she was getting her feet wet. And it was a lot of great songs on Brandy's first album. And if you're in here, let me know your favorite Brandy song. Let me know your favorite Brandy song, before I finish with this tier list. But yeah, this is difficult. But I'm gonna leave B7 and Human to the side. I can't go chronological on those two. I'm kind of stuck on those two. But 211, I'm very sure where I want to put that one. She had a lot of great songwriting on this album to me. I think people overlook this album because it was a large space between Human album and 211 album. A lot of people I feel like people counted Brandy out between those times, Human album and 211. But 211 was a great album to me. It had the single Put It Down with Chris Brown. Wildest Dreams was on that album. One of my favorite cuts on the album, that's kind of like a filler, is Paint This House. I love that song on that album. I think people don't talk about that song a lot, but that was one of my favorite songs on the album. You Don't Know What You Have Here. That was a good song as well. So it had a lot of great cuts on this album. Honestly, I feel 211 was better than Human, and I know people going to fuss at me about that. But I feel like Human was 211 was a little better than Human album as far as cohesiveness. 'Cause I feel like Human was a little all over the place in certain areas. It was kind of boring to me, and certain songs. But 211 was really back to the urban, Brandy that we all love and fell in love with. And so I'm gonna have to say 211 underrated I feel 211 was underrated. And so back to the two I'm kind of having a problem with. Human. I wouldn't say it was a classic. This is kind of tough because I feel Human had its own sound. I wish there was some people in here that help me out, let me know what you think. As far as the Human album, I'm gonna go to B7. That's tough. B7, Camper produced most of that album. Rest in peace to LaShawn Daniels. He did a lot on this album as well. As far as vocal production and songwriting, B7, I feel lyrically it was kind of not as good as her other albums lyrically. But I think she really showed off vocally on this album. B7. I'm gonna have to say underrated for B7. I think it's underrated. And so my last album, Human. This is tough. But I don't want to say throwaway album for Human. So I'm gonna just put it in underrated. But if it was one in between underrated and throwaway, I would put it right there. But this is my tier list. I'm not gonna put Waiting to Exhale up here or the Brandy album. But yeah, I'm gonna put Human or underrated. And so I have Never Say Never, Magnum Opus. Classics is the Brandy debut album and Full Moon. And underrated, Aphrodisiac 211, B7 and Human album. I think I'm gonna settle it right there. And so yeah, appreciate y'all for watching. If you're watching this live back, please let me know what you think, where you would put these albums. And appreciate y'all for watching. And please subscribe to my channel. All right, peace.